Welcome to Math 55. This is should be our CRN number here, so just verify that you're in the right class. My name is Mr. Dustin Akers. Office number, voicemail, email. The easiest way to probably get in contact with me would be to email me. You can leave a voicemail, but I don't always get to those. I try to, but I tend to be more accurate with my email. My email actually goes to my cell phone number at home. So that's a great way of getting in contact with me. I do have some office hours. You can come see me. It'll be in the, I want to say like 10 to 11:30ish, I think is what, stop by my office and I'll have them written down. But the idea is that you can come see me in my office. And I am also, for those of you who want to get up and have early morning coffee with me, I am in the Learning Center at 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. every morning, so Monday through Thursday. Okay, here's the book that we're going to be using, Introductory and Intermediate Algebra, 6th edition. You do not need to purchase the book. What I would encourage you to do, unless you're extremely tactile and like to have the book as a resource, you can just get the online, and it comes with an ebook that's included, so you're able to access the book on your electronic device that way. This is a new book, but I've found in the past that I've had a little more success with this book, and students have been able to follow it a little better. So we're going to try that out. It shouldn't be too expensive for just the online code, and especially if you're not buying the book. Unless you want, they do sell the package where you have both, and it's a little spendy, but if you need that, then go ahead and get at it. You do need to have the MyMathLab account. That is not optional. That is going to be something you need to do today. So you're in this class, you're on the roll sheet, you're on the wait list, doesn't matter. Get on this website. I have a paper that's going to have an explanation on exactly how to do that. I'll go over that. But the idea is that you should be on there today. Now I have people that'll tell me that they're waiting for financial aid, or they got a check coming on Friday, or whatever the situation is. I'm on the wait list, and I don't know if I want to spend this money if I'm not going to be in the class. Well, first of all, I think we're going to have enough space to fit everyone at this point that I see on the wait list. I can't speak, as a week later, but so I would get on there. When you go to log in, it gives you the option to do a temporary. So right where it's asking for the code or the credit card, there's a little small text that says, click here for a temporary 2-week access. So if you're not sure about me, or if you're not sure about when the money's going to come in, you got 2 weeks that you can kind of figure that out, but you still need to sign up for that today. If you're on the wait list, the way that you show me that you're wanting to be in this class is you get on there today and you sign in and you start the homework today. Okay? Here's our grading. So we have tests and quizzes, and those lump to about 70% of your grade. We will cover chapters 1 through 6. You can expect daily quizzes. There'll be 6 tests, basically 1 on each chapter. Any test will be, any missed test will be a score of 0, unless scheduled with me ahead of time. So if you know something's coming up, please let me know and we can schedule that ahead of time. If there is something that comes up last minute, you can always contact me and try to see if I can accommodate you. And if I can, I'll try to do that. But there's no guarantee for that. So that's why I do allow your lowest test grade to be dropped, because I understand life happens. Obviously, life happens. I'm not there right now delivering this lecture to you personally, right? So I understand that. But when at all possible, plan ahead. And if you can't plan ahead, still contact me and I'll see what I can do. But I can't guarantee it. So I do drop your lowest test score, so life can happen there. But I do have a second option. When you go into the Learning Center and you go and register for the course, it keeps track of your hours, okay? So option 1, I'm going to drop everyone's lowest test score, done. Here's a second option for those of you that want to kind of develop some good study habits and want to help boost their grades. If you complete 30 hours of study time by either coming in my office, if you come in my office, I can count that time, or going into the Learning Center. If you can get the 30 hours in all of our 16 weeks, I will drop your second lowest test score in addition to your first lowest test score, and I'll replace the second one with an 80%. Okay? The people that tend to do this, first of all, they start developing good study habits. They have study groups that they go in there and work with. They have mentors. They have tutors. All of that counts for time, as long as it's done in the Learning Center or in my office hours. And those are the students that this 80% is not like making them just pass the class. These are the people that are my high C's and B's and A's, and this 80% maybe boosts them up an extra couple percent. I do have a rare occasion, probably one student every couple semesters, who goes into the final, has done these 30 hours. They're sold on it because they see the benefit of going in and having those study groups, okay? But they don't have any tests below 80%. And so if that's the situation, then what I could do is I can actually give you a boost to your overall grade at the end. Like I said, it's very rare, but I just want you to know that it's going to be worth your while to get into the Learning Center, develop those study times either with other students, with mentors, with tutors. Those habits are going to help you be successful in this course and at this school. The final test is 20% of our grade, and it's cumulative, meaning it's going to cover not every topic from the entire course, but topics from every chapter. So in the chapter tests, I do allow a note card to both sides. That's kind of, I think it's generous of me, but the idea is that you kind of go through your notes and you highlight some of the questions that maybe you struggle with and write down a couple examples. If there are some definitions you're struggling with, write them down. What I find is that the students that make those note cards and come are generally my students that get the C's, B's, and A's on the test. And they're not having to constantly look at their note card throughout the test. It literally is a helpful study to actually go through and go through your notes, find the things that you're struggling with, and put them on a card. Just kind of review those topics. I'm just trying to encourage those beneficial study habits that are going to help you be successful in this course. For the final, I do allow a page of notes just because the breadth of knowledge that we're going to cover, there's going to be a lot of topics there. And so I allow a full page so that you can kind of get several examples down, definitions from the entire course. And so I encourage you to go back through your old notes and try to find some things there. Homework is 10% of our grade. That will be done on MyMathLab, and that is not going to be something that you can turn in late. You literally have till, 11:59, the day before each test. So our first test, 11:59 the night before, the homework closes. That gives you a lot of wiggle room with the homework. Let me tell you right now, that is not meant for you to postpone and put off the homework. What that is meant for is, first of all, life happens. We already talked about that. But sometimes you go home with the ambition of doing the homework and something horrible happens and you're not able to get the homework done. And you're coming back and you got a homework quiz and you're freaking out about it. Well, okay, life happens. I have the homework open for a long breadth of time, so if you're struggling, you can kind of get that help. Second of all, there's going to be some questions in the homework that are difficult that I'm going to expect most of you to need help on. Great. You have time to process that and go into the Learning Center, okay? If you try to put off the homework, you are not going to be prepared for our quizzes. I kind of skirted over that. Let me say that real quick. We do have, where is it? Oh, there it is. Daily quizzes based on the homework. So we'll have the lecture, we'll have time to process and do the homework, and when you come back in the next day, we will have a short, generally 4 to 5 question quiz based on the homework, just to help me see if you understood the material. I'm pretty generous with those quizzes. They are open notes. This is not supposed to be a gotcha moment. You didn't come prepared, and so now I'm punishing you. I also have the students that are doing really well on the quiz, that go through it quickly and are successful, I allow them to go around and help students, help them be successful. This is something you should be successful in, okay? But you still need to come prepared. If we're going to have time to cover the material we need to, you need to come prepared for class. That means doing the homework before, not putting it off, and coming in with your notes and being ready to take those quizzes, okay? One last thing I'm going to say on this homework. I have this set to 11:59 right now. I reserve the right to change this. I'm going to tell you right now that I have, not all the time, this probably happened 3 semesters ago where I had a group of students in a class that were just not being responsible, not coming prepared for the quizzes, and their grades were punished. They were just, they were dropping quiz points, they were dropping homework points, and then their tests were also low, and so they weren't being successful. And so that's easy. All I did was change the rules. I took it from, instead of being 11:59 the day before the test, I would teach a section and say, you have 3 days to do the homework and we're done. I would prefer not to do that. I think it's ideal if I give you that time so that you can go through the homework, struggle through it, and you have time to prepare before you take the test. But if I see people that are abusing it, and I see students, and like I said, it's very rare, but I do reserve the right to change the due dates on the homework. Here's our standard grade scale. I do want to note that final grades will not be rounded. So the idea is that if you want an A, you should probably be going into the final with a 92, 93%. If you want a B, you shouldn't be going into the final with an 80%. Because I guarantee that final might bump you down 0.5% and you're done. Okay? You need to make sure if you want an A, you are getting a solid A. If you want a B, you should be getting an 84, 85%. Bring those grades up. Okay? Let me talk about this real quick because I know this can be intimidating for a lot of people. The homework and the percentages here. Okay? And I'm going to throw out some fuzzy math here, but I just want to discuss real quick homework. It's 10% of your grade. You should not lose any of that 10%. You should, boom, you have that 10%. You have a big spread of time to work it out, get help, go to the Learning Center, come see me. You should bring that homework to 100%. You should have those points. Quizzes in here, I believe they're about 20% of your grade overall. Okay. The quizzes, you shouldn't lose points on that. I rarely have students that lose quiz points. Those are the people that were not up to date on the homework. Those are the people that are not being responsible in attending class. And so they lose points on quizzes. But generally, most of my students walk in and immediately have that 30%. They do their homework, then they get 100% on the quizzes. So they have a 30% before they even take the tests. You're like, that's not very exciting. You're not making me feel better, right? But keep this in mind. You're like, all I want to do is pass this class and move on. Okay, then you don't need a 30%, you need a 70%. Which means you need 40 more percent out of all the tests out of the 70%. And that ends up being about, I think, what did I say before? 57%. Okay? So basically, if you do everything you're supposed to, if you do the homework, you do the quizzes, you keep that 30% solid, you could get a 50% or 57% average on the test and have a C in this class. I think that's reasonable. And I'll tell you what, the people that are doing 100% on the homework, 100% on the quizzes, coming in prepared, they're not scoring 57% on the test. They're my, maybe even high D's, low C's, B's, A's. They're the ones that are killing the tests, and they have no problem. The people that are worried, that are like, oh, I got a 58% on the test and I'm failing the class, it's up here. They've not been responsible with the homework, or they've not come prepared for the quizzes, and they throw away what should be give me points. So if you come prepared, you should have no problem being successful in this class. If you are doing 100% of the homework, 100% of the quizzes, and you're not able to get a 57% average on the tests, right? If you're like, this isn't working for me, come talk to me, and we need to figure out what I can do to help you be more successful on the tests. Because I'm telling you that's the general rule, is that people do that. And you're like, okay, well, I don't want to C. What if I want to B? All right, well, then let me you see you never use math. Now you want to know that. Well, you need another 50% to get your B. Well, that's 50 out of 70. It's about a 70% on the tests, approximately. Okay, so if you want a B in this class, do your homework, do well on the quizzes, get about a 70% average on the test. You should have a B in this class. This class should not be that hard to pass. Why don't people pass it? Because they're not responsible with attendance, they're not responsible with homework and quizzes, and then even if they do okay on the test, they've already thrown away good points. So please be responsible with this. You all have the opportunity to be successful in this class. All right, attendance is very important. I'll be taking roll. That's very easy. I take roll by the quizzes. So you come in, you're going to have a quiz. When you turn in that quiz, that marks that you're here. If you're not responsible with the quiz, you'll lose those points, and I'll assume you're absent. So know that's how I take roll, is through the quizzes, and so make sure you have those. If you have 3 or more absences, you may or may not be dropped. If I see that you are not being responsible with the time and you're not keeping up with the work, I reserve the right to drop you. You're not being an asset to the class, and you're not being successful, and so I'm not going to waste the time. So I don't guarantee that will happen, but I do try to keep track of that. Here are some important dates out of the kindness of my heart. You can kind of look through that, and if any of those are important to you, you're welcome. Technology policy: do not plan on using a cell phone as a calculator. I will have people that do that, and they do their homework that way, and then they pull it out in class and they do that, and I'm thinking, you're not going to have that on the test. So you're not really preparing yourself well for the test. Go get yourself a little $5 scientific calculator, or you can rent calculators at the Learning Center. Charlene is able to do that for you. You just go to the finance office. I want to say it's $5 unless it's gone up. I'm not sure, but you pay the finance office. You go to Charlene with your ID and the receipt, and she's able to check a calculator out to you. So either way, you do need to have a calculator in this class. Worst case scenario, like I said, I just get a scientific, and that should last you through both Math 55 and 51. You skip lunch for a day. I know, Lord, I could probably do that and be fine. So just do that. Get yourself a calculator. I promise that calculator will be more value than one meal. Okay. Last here, if you need any extra help, please come talk to me during my office hours, appointment, before class. Come talk to me. Let me know what you need, and I'm going to try to be helpful. I want to encourage you as well, if you have any disabilities I need to know about, any accommodations, go to the DRC and get that paperwork so that I can take that into consideration. I always think it's kind of funny that people are kind of self-conscious when they come in with this paper, but I'm telling you right now, you come in and basically is a paper telling me this is how I learn best and this is what you can do to help me be successful. I wish more students came with a paper telling me how they learn and how they could be successful. It's awesome. Don't be discouraged by that. Come use that. Let me help you. Okay. Same with the veterans. If you have any issues that you need through the Veteran Service that I can accommodate you with, please let me know and I can set that up and I can be helpful. Okay. All right. These are our official learning objectives. These are official topics we're going to be learning. You'll see as we go through the assignment list that all of these topics are going to be covered. Okay. I want to encourage you right now to be successful in this class. Here's what you should do. Okay. I am going to be with you guys. This is the first time I'm letting you know this. Okay. I am going to be doing the lessons on a video. I'm going to try to flip the class with you. So what that means is that you will have access to a video lecture that you can listen to at your own pace. You can then take those notes. You can come to class. You still need to come to class and take the quizzes. Those are not optional, okay? So I will expect you to come in and be ready for the quiz. But the idea is that you can come in and you can either, one, listen to the lecture and take your notes at your own pace, and then with additional time work on your homework. Or two, if you've listened to the notes ahead of time, you can come in and you can actually work on the homework with me and other students there to help you. That is really going to be the ideal system. Come in, listening to the notes for the next, for the day. Come in, sit down, work on that homework, and you have access to me and other students to help you with the homework. That's something I'm doing because I've seen a lot of research and a lot of chances that I believe that'll help. So watch those video lessons, take extensive notes. Everything I write, you should write. By the way, I will also be checking the notes, so don't just think that you can come in and work on the homework. I will be doing homework notes checks, and if you don't have those, then that's going to be like homework points you're throwing away. So please make sure you have those notes. And then come into class. Look through examples. If there's something you're struggling with and you're not seeing it in the notes, look through the examples in the online textbook. Work through the homework. Utilize the help buttons. I'll go through how that works. And if you're still struggling, get help. Go to the Learning Center or come with those questions in class and I can help you or another student can help you. So come to class prepared for the quizzes that are based on the lecture and the homework materials, and you should be fine. And then, like I said, I'm going to be recording lessons because I believe that we all learn at different paces, and I'd like to see if that's something that can benefit my students. I believe it will be. Come in and you can, like I said, listen to the lectures in class, bring some earbuds and do that, or if you have those already, you can come in and take the quiz and then go work on homework on your own, or you can come in and take the quiz and work on homework in class. It's your choice, okay? But I'm going to be kind of flipping the classroom there. These are a list of our standard prerequisites. That's everything we need there, so let's go ahead and keep going. Okay, so just to explain how this works. Coming in, looks like these are our dates. I don't like how that zoomed. There we go. So today, you're going to have a lesson on 1.1, 1.2. I'll have that recorded, and we can play that for you today. I'll have it posted, so if that's something that you need to go back and review, those notes will be available to you. You can go back and listen to those, okay? When you come in on Thursday, plan on having a quiz this day on section 1.1, 1.2. probably 4 questions, okay? If you've come in, you've taken your notes, you've got the homework done, should be a very easy quiz. If there are a couple things you're struggling with, you'll be fine. There should be somebody in class that can help you with the quiz, okay? If life happened and you were not able to get through the homework, that's fine. If I have 1 or 2 questions that do that, there should be somebody in this class that can help you. If I start having a large group of students that are not being responsible with that, then once again, I'll start assigning the homework with much more restricted due dates, if that's what I need to do. Please don't do that. I'd rather not have to change that. Okay, when you come in on Thursday, before class on Thursday, I will have these videos done. My goal is to have these posted by by the end of class Tuesday. I should have these posted. So after Tuesday, you go and you knock out these 2 homework assignments. You're like, wow, I'm ready to keep going. Keep going. Go through these 3, take notes, and come in on Thursday to take the quiz. Okay? Or, I'm sorry, come in next Tuesday to take the quiz and work on homework. Come in ready to work on that. Okay? So, anyway, it's just I'm trying to give you a little bit of flexibility. If it's confusing, please feel free to email me if you got any questions, and or wait until I see you on Thursday. So sorry I'm not there, but I appreciate your flexibility. I just got a couple more things to go over, and then we'll get to the notes. So stick with me here. All right, real quick. Here is the paper you should have received for signing up for Pearson. So going to this website, if you've not registered before, register as a student. At some point, it's going to ask you for the course ID. This is the information you need right there. Acres 34586. Okay. Use that. You should be able to get in. If you don't have the code already, or you don't have the credit card, or you're waiting for financial aid, there is a temporary button. Please feel free to do that. If you're unsure about me at this point, I understand. Use the temporary at this point. You got a little wiggle room before you have to be, committed to this. But get in, get working, and see how this works for you. I really believe, based on what I've seen and based on research, this should be a very successful system. All right. Last but not least here is invite. Remind. Sorry, they changed the name of this a while ago. But Remind is a service that I'm going to be using to send you reminders. They're going to be simple things like, do not forget that I have posted these notes. Feel free to work ahead. I'll see you in class. Here's our quiz for today. Get on it and bring it to me, and we'll check it, and you get those points. I'm going to be sending those messages out, okay? It could also be something like, you look through the notes and you're like, there was a question in the homework that I don't really see you covered. And I go, wow, I blew that. Thank you for letting me know. I can send that message out on Remind and let everyone else know. Man, I blew it. Here's what you need to be successful in that question. I'm sorry. So please get on this service. This is not something that is optional. I need you to get on Remind so that I can get you those messages. There are really 2 ways to do that. First is by phone. If you have a smartphone, here's instructions. You can go to that site, you put in your number with the information, and boom, you're going to start receiving those messages. If you don't have a smartphone, you can actually do it as a text message. You just do the 81010, and you put @acres55, and what that's going to do is when I send those messages out, they'll pop up as a text message. Okay. Standard text message rates apply, so if you don't have text messaging, or if you pay for text messaging, this is not the way that you want to do it, okay? You do have the option of going to the site, and you can sign up to get the messages via email. That's not as ideal because obviously you're not getting that as quickly, but that is an option. You can go to this and sign up via email. I'm going to expect every student in this class to sign up for these messages one way or another. You're either going to get the messages through your phone or through your email, but you are responsible for doing that. Real quick, just to be clear on this, why am I doing this? What's the benefit of this Remind? It is a way for me to quickly send messages out to you from my phone to your phone, without having that creepy swapping of phone numbers. I don't want your number. You don't need my number, right? So the idea is this is a way for me to message, and this all stays kind of private. Your information is private. My information is private, so we don't have that. It's a great way to message me. If you send me a message through Remind, it pops up on my phone as a text message, and then they send me an email. So, I mean, they just drive the living crazy out of me. Use it. Use it to contact me. This is the easiest way to reach me. I try to get to these, and then I'll go through and look at my emails and respond to those. this is a great way to reach me. So please make sure that you utilize this service. Okay? Last thing I want to do is kind of go through the website. When you go, this is Pearson, so the PearsonMyLabMastering.com. If you've never done this before, you're going to need to register as a student, go through that paper, it'll have instructions. If you have done this before, then you're going to just sign in with whatever your credentials were. And I'll kind of do that real quick. All right, mine automatically switched over. And if you are doing this for the first time, you're going to need to add a course. Use that, where was it, Acres 34586. Once you do that, it'll pop up this course that you can click on. And hopefully your internet's a little faster than mine. Anytime. There we go. Alright, so first thing to notice, there's this death clock counting down the homework like I told you. You have a lot of wiggle room. You should not be waiting 19 days and 7 hours to start this homework. You will not be successful in this class. Okay? Get in. We have 1.1, 1.2. Get in there and start on the homework. These are your kind of current assignments. The other option is I can click here where it says assignments. And notice there's a list of all of our chapter assignments. There should also be, I think I've already started some of these, quizzes. Alright, I don't know why I have all of these. I am going to want you to do these chapter review quizzes. So I'm going to go through those. You don't have to do those every chapter, but before we get to the end of the semester, I'm going to want you to have done those review quizzes. It is a great way to review for the final. See, those review quizzes, when we get, all of a sudden it's getting close to December and you're like, what the heck did we do in chapter 1? Go back and do this review quiz, and it's something you can take as many times as you want. You should be able to bring that grade up to 100%. This is a great resource for preparing for either at the end of each chapter, prepare for the test, or at the end of the semester to prepare for the final. But I will be asking you to do those online review quizzes as well. If I go do some homework, let's go ahead and say, what if I did section 1.2 and I were to choose a question? The product of 6 and 5 less than a number. So I'm going to write an algebraic expression. And let's say I mess up here. I don't know. It's not going to let me. I do that. And I go, okay. No, that's not right. Okay. But it gives you kind of like, hey, you know what? I think you put something incomplete in there. All right. Well, I still don't learn. I click it again. No, it's still not right. Okay. Final check. I just threw away homework points, right? They're like, okay, you're supposed to do the product of 6 times 5 less than some number, x minus 5. So that's the correct answer. So that's nice that they give you that right there. Kind of a, oh, here we go. If I keep going, I just took a 0. I can click similar question, I can get those points back. So now it says the product of 7 and 2 less than a number. So if I didn't get it the first time or I made a small mistake, I can now type in 7 times x minus 2 and I would get full credit on that. Okay. Other options here at question help. Anytime now, question help. I don't know why that's not working. Give me a second. Okay, so when I click on here, I have a few options. My favorite is going to be textbook. If I click on that, that's going to open that e-edition of the textbook. Literally opens you directly to the page with an example that ties to this question. So this would be like looking at your notes and reviewing it. That would be my first choice. If you're struggling with a homework question, click on that button first, okay? I'm going to go and close this because that's not really helping me right now in the load times. But that's my first option. Second would be view an example. If I view an example, what it does is it does a similar question where it says the product of 3 and 8 less than an 8, and then it has kind of a mini lesson that kind of describes what to do. So that I'm doing 3 times x minus 8. And then I go, okay, now that makes sense. I can go in here and I can type in what makes sense here. So I can make that connection. Last but not least, you can choose to help me solve this. That takes this exact question and it walks through step by step. And it literally goes through, what does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean? The word product means. And so this is a good way. It's kind of like sitting down with a tutor and kind of walking through step by step and figuring out what is it you're struggling with. What part of this question is difficult so that at the end we can get it right. I will tell you right now that I would start with the textbook, view an example, and this would be my last resort. You can also do the Ask My Instructor. That is not the best way to reach me. If you really have a question you want to ask a person, go to the Learning Center, come to my office hours. Yes, you can do this, but I'm going to do my standard 1 to 2 days before I can necessarily reply to an email. So I'm not sitting at home waiting for these messages to show up. You can do this, and I will respond to that, but these are going to be your better bet. Here's the risk, though. I like these, but I'll have students that get 100% on the quizzes, 100% on the tests, or 100% on the quizzes, 100% on the homework, and they fail the tests. And what I find is when I watch them doing the homework, they are clicking on this for every single question. Do not do that. These are a resource. But if you are clicking on these for every single question, then you're basically preparing yourself that I can't do a homework question, I can't do this math, unless I, one, see an example just like it, or have step-by-step instructions. That is not good advice to do. Save this for the difficult questions. You should not be doing this for every question, or you're not going to be prepared for the test. So there's my warning, okay? But the good news is, like I said, once you've done that, you go back here and go, okay, product means 7 times 7 less the number. I'm going to do that number minus 7, and then I can type that in. Ta-da, I now have full credit on that, and I'm happy because I didn't throw away homework points. I used the resources, but do not use those on every single question, okay? All right, so that should be everything you need to kind of get started. I do have another video, like I said, a lecture that I want you to listen to today. And from now on, like I said, by the end of class, I'll have the next 3 lectures posted. If you want to work ahead on the lectures and come into class and work on homework, awesome. But come into class on Thursday prepared to take a quiz on section 1.1 and 1.2. That means this homework should be done. Awesome. I'll see you guys then. Thank you very much.